Hello, my name is Susan, I'm 35, and I used to believe wholeheartedly in fairy tale endings, until 4 years ago, when my life took an unexpected turn. That was when I met Justin, who would become my husband. Our story began like a classic romance filled with love and trust, but eventually revealed a darker side of betrayal hidden behind what seemed like an idyllic marriage. We first crossed paths on a regular Tuesday morning at the corner cafe. I was lost in a Scott Turow legal thriller, absorbed in the twists and turns of the plot. When Justin walked in, he had an immediate presence, confident yet approachable, with a warm smile that was truly inviting. "Is that Turow's latest?" he asked, nodding at my book with genuine interest. "Yes, I just started it. He never disappoints," I replied, a bit surprised at how easily we started talking. In the weeks that followed, Justin and I discovered we shared a love for music, especially classic jazz, and a passion for exploring the small, charming bookstores scattered around the city. Justin was kind, respectful, and made every moment feel like reconnecting with a dear friend. One evening, as we strolled along the river under the streetlights, Justin's expression turned serious. "Susan, I've never felt this way before. I think I'm falling for you," he confessed. His words sent a warm rush through me, and I replied, "I feel the same way, Justin. You're unlike anyone I've ever met." The next 7 months flew by, our connection growing stronger each day. During a cozy dinner at my apartment, Justin proposed, and I accepted without hesitation. I was deeply in love and optimistic about the life we were building together, but the excitement of our engagement soon turned to unease as the time came to meet Justin's parents. His mother, Catherine, was a stern woman with an intense gaze that seemed to assess my every move, while his father, though warmer, was serious, especially when it came to marriage. Over a formal dinner at their home, the conversation turned to a prenuptial agreement. "It's just practical," his father insisted, catching me off guard. Having been hurt in the past by an unfaithful ex, I knew the importance of clear boundaries. I calmly suggested, "If either of us cheats, the one who does should owe the other $200,000. Justin looked at me with surprise, then admiration. "Susan, I promise I'll never betray you," he assured me. Our wedding was a beautiful celebration filled with joy, dancing, and promises of forever. The first year of our marriage felt like a dream. We traveled to enchanting places, spent quiet evenings at home, and supported each other's dreams. Justin was more than a husband, he was my best friend and confidant. Adjusting to married life felt effortless. Our honeymoon in Italy was magical, wandering along the cliffs of Santa Caterina del Sasso, just the two of us, captivated by the romance of it all. "Can you believe we're here?" I asked one evening as we watched the Eiffel Tower light up. He held me close and said, "With you, anything's possible. This is just the beginning, Susan." We returned home with a suitcase full of memories and felt even closer. Our days together became a cherished routine. Each morning, Justin would leave for work, and I would prepare dinner for his return. We spent our evenings talking for hours about everything under the sun. One night, while washing dishes, Justin said, "I never thought I'd be this happy doing simple things like this." I splashed him playfully, and he laughed, catching the water with his hands. "That's because you've got an amazing wife," I teased. "It's all about the company." This simple routine became the foundation of our happiness. He'd often say, "Marrying you was the best decision I ever made." Though there was pressure from his mother, Catherine, to start a family, we stayed focused on enjoying each other. She would often drop hints at family gatherings, asking, "So, when will we hear some good news?" I usually responded with a light-hearted joke, but over time, her persistence became harder to brush off. Justin reassured me, "Don't let my mom get to you. We'll start a family when we're ready." Our first anniversary was a magical evening at home. Justin surprised me with a necklace I'd admired months before, saying, "Happy anniversary, Susan. Here's to many more years together," his eyes full of love. As we cuddled on the couch that night, I felt deeply grateful for the life we were building together. But as we entered our second year of marriage, the pressure from Justin's family, especially his mother, Catherine, began to weigh heavily on me. What started as gentle nudges about starting a family soon turned into sharp critiques about nearly every aspect of our lives. Catherine's disapproval, often hidden behind helpful comments, made every family gathering feel tense and uncomfortable. One afternoon, while I was setting the table for lunch, Catherine walked into the kitchen and surveyed the spread with a look of disdain. "Is this what you're serving?" she asked, her tone laced with judgment. "A bit plain, don't you think?" I clenched my jaw, trying to stay composed, but her criticisms extended far beyond my cooking. She found fault in everything, from our home decor to how I spent my free time. One evening, as we relaxed in the living room, Catherine shared another unsolicited opinion. "You know, Susan," she said coolly, "if Justin gave me the money he spends on you, I'd consider hiring a real cleaner and cook." Justin sat uncomfortably but stayed silent, which felt like a betrayal. Holding back my frustration, I replied as calmly as I could, "I'm doing my best here, Catherine." Over time, I noticed a shift in Justin's attitude, as if his mother's remarks were beginning to sink in. after one of her visits, he casually suggested, "Maybe Mom's right about the house. Maybe we should think about getting some help." I was stung by his comment. "So, you think I can't handle things either?" I asked, hurt. "No, that's not what I meant," he said quickly, backpedaling, but the damage was done. Catherine's criticisms and Justin's growing detachment started to strain our marriage, turning simple conversations into tense discussions. The easy comfort we once shared was slipping away, replaced by a sense of doubt and frustration. One night, after a particularly heated argument, I found myself voicing a painful truth. "What happened to us, Justin? We used to be a team." He ran a hand through his hair, looking frustrated. "I don't know, Susan. Everything just feels complicated now." That night, I went to bed feeling alone and misunderstood. Catherine's subtle but insidious remarks had not only invaded our home, they were also beginning to erode the foundation of our relationship, making me question whether the love we once shared could survive this constant negativity. As we entered our 4th year of marriage, a sense of unease took root in my heart. The vibrant flame of our love was now flickering under shadows of doubt. It began with frequent calls from a name that kept appearing on Justin's phone, Brian. Each time Brian called, Justin would act strangely, his demeanor shifting and his eyes darting to see if I noticed. One evening, as we watched TV and his phone buzzed again, I glanced over at him, noticing the tension in his face. "Who's Brian?" I asked, trying to sound casual. "Just a new guy at work, no one important," Justin replied, his voice a bit too casual, his answer feeling rehearsed. But his behavior only grew more suspicious. He started coming home late more often, giving inconsistent reasons, and even his style changed, from casual to sharply dressed in tailored suits. One evening, as he got ready for yet another late work night, I couldn't ignore the sinking feeling in my gut. "Working late again?" I asked, taking in his polished look. "Yeah, big project," he said, his tone dismissive as he avoided eye contact. "Don't wait up," he added abruptly. All the frustration and doubts I'd been holding inside bubbled over, and I finally confronted him. "Justin, this isn't you. What's going on?" My voice shook with a mix of anger and fear. He sighed heavily, his expression caught somewhere between guilt and irritation. "I've told you, it's just work. Why can't you trust me?" he snapped back. "Because something feels wrong, Justin. You're barely here, and even when you are, it's like you're somewhere else," I replied, my voice tense. Without another word, he grabbed his coat and left, leaving me alone in the silence of our home. That night, lying in our empty bed, I made a difficult decision. I couldn't keep living in a cloud of doubt and suspicion. I needed to find out the truth, no matter the cost. The next morning, with a heavy heart, I did something that felt both like a betrayal and a necessity. I hired a private investigator. The stress and constant uncertainty had become unbearable, and I had to know. The days that followed felt like a blur of nervous waiting. I tried to keep my life as normal as possible, though inside, everything felt on the verge of collapse. Then, the call came, and with it, my world crumbled. "Mrs. Johnson," the detective began solemnly, "we found conclusive evidence. Your suspicions were correct." He explained that Justin had been unfaithful, and the name Brian was, in fact, an alias for a woman he'd been seeing. The details were painfully clear, timestamps, photographs, all undeniable. As I sat holding the phone, emotions surged through me, devastation, betrayal, and a grim sense of validation. My fears weren't baseless, they were grounded in harsh reality. Now, faced with the truth, I had to decide what came next. I chose not to confront Justin immediately. Instead, I needed to understand the full scope of his betrayal. A few nights later, as I passed by his home office, I overheard a conversation that turned my stomach. Justin was on the phone with his mother, Catherine. "Mom, I'm planning to end things with Susan after your birthday," he said, his tone cold, lacking any warmth or remorse. "Oh, that's wise, dear," Catherine replied, her voice disturbingly calm. "Just make sure she gets me a nice 60th birthday gift before you let her go." I leaned against the wall, fighting the urge to scream. Not only was my husband betraying me, but he and his mother were also conspiring to use me, planning to extract one last grand gift before discarding me. Fueled by a potent mix of anger and resolve, I decided to play along. I continued to gather more evidence, working closely with the investigator, who provided me with photos, videos, and even recordings. I was building my case, preparing for the moment I would reveal it all. Each night, lying next to Justin, I mentally crafted my plan. I would wait until after Catherine's birthday, giving them the illusion of victory. I'd let them believe they had outsmarted me, and then, when they least expected it, I would turn the tables. As Catherine's 62nd birthday approached, I maintained my facade, acting as though everything was perfectly fine. Inside, I was simmering with anger and betrayal, yet I kept my emotions masked, preparing for the confrontation that lay ahead. A few days before the celebration, at a family dinner, Catherine casually mentioned her birthday with a smirk. "So, Susan, I'm expecting a grand celebration for my 62nd. You must have planned something special for me." I forced a smile and replied, "Of course, Catherine. I've arranged a dinner at the city's finest restaurant. It will be a night to remember." Her eyes gleamed, oblivious to the trap I was setting. "Wonderful, just a small family gathering, right?" she asked, her smile smug. "Yes, very intimate, just close family," I assured her, my words layered with irony. Later that evening, Justin approached me, suspicion flickering in his eyes. "That's a pretty generous plan for my mom's birthday. Are you sure you want to go all out?" I met his gaze, keeping my voice steady. "It's a significant birthday, Justin. I just want to make it memorable." He seemed satisfied, though I could tell he was puzzled by my willingness to indulge his mother. Little did he know, the surprise of the evening would be unforgettable for entirely different reasons. As the day of the dinner approached, I handled every detail with precision. I confirmed the reservation under Catherine's name, triple-checked the guest list, and arranged everything to radiate luxury, keeping up the charade of the attentive daughter-in-law. Beneath this polished facade, though, lay my plan to unveil the lies that had undermined our marriage and left me questioning my worth. The night before, as I lay in bed, I felt a twisted satisfaction settle over me. I was hours away from revealing the full truth to Justin and Catherine, both of whom believed they had outsmarted me. In reality, I was the one in control now, and they were the ones being set up for the final blow. The evening of Catherine's 62nd birthday unfolded in a plush, candlelit restaurant. Everything was designed to impress: ornate decor, delicate china, a custom menu. Catherine beamed, wrapped in the extravagance, while I played my role with a smile that masked my simmering resolve. As the dinner wound down, the waiter presented the bill, an astounding $6,800. I reached for my card, feeling the thrill of the moment. I swiped it, then looked up, noting Catherine's smug satisfaction and Justin's slightly tense expression. "Thank you, Susan. This was incredibly generous," Catherine said, her voice almost mocking. Seizing the moment, Justin leaned toward me with an air of finality. "Susan, I want a divorce," he stated bluntly. The words stung, but I kept my face composed, betraying no hint of the hurt beneath. Catherine chimed in with a cold smile. "Well, I suppose you should be going, then. After all, this is a family gathering." Without a word, I stood and walked out, head held high. Outside, with my hands shaking, I canceled the payment on my phone. Then I logged into our shared account, blocking Justin's access, ensuring he'd be unable to cover the cost either. Back at the house, I quickly packed my belongings. The weight of my final decision settled in. I was walking away from this life and the people who had twisted it. As I zipped up my suitcase, my phone buzzed, displaying Catherine's number. I answered, hearing her voice, sharp with rage. "The restaurant is threatening to call the police. What did you do?" she demanded, her tone laced with fury and panic. I felt a strange calm, a sense of freedom as her voice echoed in my ear. Let them face the consequences. They had created this situation. Hanging up, I took a last look around the house, once filled with love, now hollow and empty. I stepped outside, not once looking back, even as my phone continued to buzz with desperate messages. They'd always wanted control, but now I held the power to choose my own path. In the end, they paid the price. Justin scrambled to borrow from his family to cover the bill, a small reckoning for the pain they'd caused. I didn't concern myself with how he managed it. All I knew was that, in the end, I had reclaimed my dignity. Days later, I sat in the lawyer's office, signing the final divorce papers. I felt an unexpected peace wash over me. I was free from betrayal, deceit, and manipulation. The road ahead was uncertain, but it was finally mine. Stepping into the sunlight outside, I took a deep breath, feeling the weight lift. The future was a blank page, and for the first time in a long time, I looked forward to writing my own story.